Good morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning. It's below freezing, so it's a very cold morning. And I'm actually doing a take two on this. I had recorded some video. Video's great. Video's fine. However, the images that I took kind of got lost. A little bit of a mishap with a old external hard drive that I'd put them on. And I formatted the card before I backed up. So, lesson learned. Quick photo tip for you. I know it's not Tuesday. Back up those photos before you format the card. So, I'm at Basket Slough National Wildlife Refuge. This is west of Salem, Oregon. And again, very cold morning. But I'm doing what I'm calling kind of a little bit of a one lens challenge and talking about the Nifty-Fifty. What I actually am using is a Pentax 50mm 1.4. It's the Pentax M. The lens is roughly about 40 years old. I don't know the exact year this one was made, but based on the production years, right in that age range. So I've got some sunlight hitting the hill. I'm going to go up this hill. If you've watched my earlier videos, you would have seen this location before with some of the wildflowers and the like. Don't expect any wildflowers today. Mostly some brown oak trees up here, but there's always some other things going on, so we'll see what we get. And I'm going to just concentrate on using this 50mm lens and seeing what I can get. But say I'm walking backwards just so the light's hitting my face instead of being in the shadow with the backlight. Just trying to help that video as much as possible. So anyway, that's the plan for the day. As I get up a little bit further and start taking some photos, I'll go ahead and get some more video, and we'll talk more about the setup that I'm using here with the 50mm, how that works with the camera, and go from there. So in the meantime, while I'm heading up there, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, give me the like on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you toward the top. So as I mentioned, it is below freezing today. The thermometer in my vehicle said 27 degrees Fahrenheit when I was getting here, and so we actually have some frost in the trail. You can probably see, and some of these leaves here. So I'm going to go ahead and see what this turns out if I just do kind of a straight down look on some of the leaves with the frost. The sunlight's pretty much direct here hitting those, so they kind of sparkle a little bit and show up. So we'll get that. And as always with the photos, I'll either put them up right away or at the end of the video, so make sure you keep watching and see what I end up with. Good morning.
Did you shoot frost shot?
Yeah, getting some frost on the leaves here.
Oh yeah, that's always a good one.
Sun's hitting, kind of.
Yeah, it lights them up.
That's what. So trying to see what I can get. Playing around with the old lens on the new camera. So.
Oh yeah, what you got there?
Got the old
okay.
Pentax 50mm adapted to.
Oh really?
The EOS. So.
Huh.
It still does a decent job.
Yeah.
Getting some photos. So. Figured something to play with and see what I can do.
Yeah, I've just I had an F1 and all kinds of lenses, and now I'm just down to my iPhone.
Oh. Hey, those can take some pretty good photos too.
You know, I'm very impressed with the phones. You know, they handle the contrast so well.
Yeah.
The film and the early digital.
Oh, they do a lot of the processing, which to me, you know, some of the fun is the processing after the fact.
Oh.
I like having a variety of lenses, but it's nice to occasionally just whip out the phone, take some shots, and all good.
Yeah, I had several digitals, you know, with the autofocus and all of that. You know, I still kind of like the old, where you did everything.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what, you know, when I'm doing with this lens, it's manual focus, you know, manual aperture. And, the mirrorless cameras is kind of an advantage on this in that I can see, you know, right away what the exposure is looking like. Have the histogram, so.
Yeah, the technology stuff is really nice. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do anything real serious. Just kind of pictures of my hikes and stuff.
Yeah.
After a while, it's just so much easier. Just, you know, to show them to anybody, I just post them on Facebook and I'm done, you know. It's so easy. I do it right from the phone, and for my quality of work, that's good enough.
Yeah.
And you've got a little digital here, right?
So, yeah, I'm actually do a little bit of video for YouTube as well. So.
Oh, okay. You got a YouTube channel?
So, yeah, it's just kind of in its infancy still.
Oh, yeah. You're not making the big bucks?
Not like some of these guys that have thousands, hundreds, thousands, whatever viewers, but...
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel.
So I've actually made it kind of to the end of the trail. Because of the time of the year, the trail further this way is actually closed to help protect the wildlife, since this is a national wildlife refuge. But there's good view. I've got a few shots already that I took of this that will hopefully I'm going to stitch together as panorama. Had, I think, 5 or 6 shots. I don't remember for sure. Just kind of see that. Nothing amazingly wonderful. This is the image that resulted from stitching together 6 separate frames. After stitching, I noticed some odd lines on the image, such as here, and here, and here. This was caused by some severe vignetting from the lens. Fortunately, although there is no lens profile in Lightroom for this particular lens, there is one for the Pentax Super Tachymar 50mm f1.4 M42 lens. I made some adjustments to this profile and created a preset to apply it to any other images taken with this lens. This is the resulting panorama after applying the lens profile adjustments. I've also applied this profile to the rest of the images that you'll see in the video. Without creating this panorama, I may not have noticed the severity of the vignetting. I did kind of go away from my one lens challenge. I'm still sticking with the one lens for the purpose of the video, of course, but I did pull out my longer 150 to 600 Tamron lens. There was a spotted towhee, that's a bird, that was actually perching over on some of these dead branches. Hopefully you can see those here behind me in the video. And so I got some good shots of that. So check out my social media for those, Instagram, Vero, and Facebook as well. And give that a look. I think I'm going to go ahead and turn back here and get some of this with the sunlight coming through the oak tree and lighten that up. A little bit of fog mist, very light, not very much fog today, which is okay, but it still has that kind of hazy look, which is nice, gives a little bit of depth. And so I'm going to take that and see what I get. Yeah, that might be a little tough there with that sun. The exposure is not doing the greatest for me, but try a little bit different here to try to get that without blowing things out too terribly much. We'll just see what happens and go from there. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about what I'm doing with the lens. Again, this was the Pentax M 50mm 1.4, so kind of a different version of the Nifty-Fifty. A lot of people talk about their Nifty-Fifties, usually the 1.8, that depending on the brand ranges anywhere from about $100 to $200. This one I actually bought used from an individual probably 10 plus years ago for $10. They had kind of said, hey, is this any good? And I'm like, yeah, it's not great, but I'll give you $10 for it. And they said, sold. So I'm using that on the EOS R5. And to do so, I've got a mount adapter. So I've got the Photozy. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. So this is the Photozy adapter for the Pentax K to the RF mount. And what's really nice about that is still you've got the full manual focus, but you do have the full aperture range. I have an adapter to go to from the K mount to the EOS, the EF, the Canon EF mount. The adapter for the Canon EF mount is very thin. If you can see, the Photozy is a lot deeper just because of the mount distance here. On the EF mount, there's a flange on the back of the K-mount lenses that is there for the aperture action on the Pentax cameras. And because of that, it actually hit inside the body and give you a limited aperture range on this lens, basically like a 1.4 to 2.8, and that was it. With this adapter, because I don't have anything blocking that little flange, it does give me the full aperture range from 1.4 to f/22. So it is nice. The adapter is about $15 on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to take a look at that. little something I don't normally do here, but I've actually gone off trail a little bit. The stump here, we've got a little bit of some kind of fungus growing on it, and I thought that might make for some kind of neat photos, and see what we get. So here I am, off trail. Now, one thing that's nice with the mirrorless camera with the in-body image stabilization is that that also works with these older lenses. There's a setting actually on the Canon to tell it what focal length you're using. So of course I've set my camera currently to the 50mm setting so that it will work with that. So while I'm here with this shot here, I also wanted to kind of talk about one of the other features that the camera has that is kind of beneficial for using the older manual focus lenses, and that's what they call manual focus peaking. With the Canon, you can actually set that so it'll highlight when something is in focus. It'll kind of put some highlighting on the edges, and you can do blue, red, or yellow. And so I'm going to kind of show you here what that looks like on the screen. Alright, so if you can see the screen here, there's a little bit of blue kind of in the background here. But as I focus closer, you see how that blue peaking gets a little bit closer and telling me that now this subject here in the front is actually what's being in focus. Now, as I said, you can change that on the Canon. If you go into your menu, they have the MF peaking settings, and you can change that. You can change the level, high or low, and I'll generally just have that on the high, but you can change the color. So I'll go ahead and change that to red and give you an idea now what that looks like as we go back and forth on the focus. Now, my recommendation obviously is to choose the color wisely based on your subject. If you have a lot of red leaves, fall colors and everything, probably not good to set it on red. Blue's going to be better than red or yellow for fall colors. And of course, you can turn that off so that there's no peaking, and now your focus is only going to be based on what you can see with your own eye. I do like having the peaking on. The downside to having the peaking on, in my experience anyway, and I'll put that back to blue for now, is that it makes it a little more difficult to actually see the subject somewhat, because it's covered with that edge highlighting. But again, that's how that focus peaking works. So depending on what camera you have, it may be a little bit different if you've got different brands, but I know that the other brands beside Canon also have some type of focus peaking available. So definitely give that a try and see what works for you. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take a couple more shots while I have it here on the tripod. And again, using that focus peaking to know when my subject is actually in the focus that I want. I'm actually finding that I'm getting a little bit of shadow on there, so I'm going to go ahead and set a 2-second self timer so that I don't have my shadow in the shot here. I'll grab a couple of those. Alright, and so we're back on the trail.
Yeah.
As with many of my videos, I am typically finding some subjects, some compositions that I'm not necessarily getting on video, and I will of course include those with the other photos at the end of the video here. I'm definitely trying to show you a little bit of what I'm finding as I go, but sometimes I get in a little bit of a hurry and don't really think about oh, I should do video for that. So that's my excuse on that one, and I will carry on. Please, if you're enjoying this, give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you like about this video, what you don't like, and I'd love to hear your experience with using the older manual focus lenses on your newer camera, whether it be mirrorless, DSLR. You know, let me know, and I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully I'll find something else, and I'll let you know what I come up with. So, carry on. So, if for no other reason than to get a drink of water, I'm taking advantage of this bench here along the path. Take a little bit of a rest and assess my situation here. No, that's good. That's good. So, I've been at this about 2 hours now. Still got a little ways to go to hike through, get to the bottom. Hopefully my tea is still at least a little warm when I get there. But absolutely beautiful morning. Nice and crisp and frosty, but absolutely wonderful. So this is a tree that I've shot before. I love that it's kind of a lone tree on the edge of the hill here. So hopefully this will turn out, get a fresh shot of it. Still has a few leaves left on it, kind of dried, ready to fall at any time, of course. So we're, middle November right now as I'm doing this video. I'm not sure when I'll actually have it released. You'll know that because you'll be watching it. So yeah, trying to keep the single tree here, on the edge of the hill, and it's kind of weighted toward the left hand of the frame to give it a little bit, the composition there weighted that way, and it's kind of nice. It's always been here just by itself, but I'm gonna kind of turn here in the path and start walking down. I'll have some final thoughts in just a moment. So again, some final thoughts as I head down the path to the parking lot. Again, hoping that my tea is still at least a little bit warm. So I've been using, again, the Pentax M 50mm 1.4 lens, about 40 years old or so, give or take a few years. And this lens is not going to probably meet the sharpness levels of some of the Nifty-Fifties that are available by from the major brands today. It does take a decent photo, sharp enough for certain things, and has a little bit of a different feel to it, that vintage feel that some people really enjoy. So we'll kind of see what I end up with. You'll be seeing those. I may have already put some in here, I don't know. I tend to like to just put the photos at the end of the video, so that's probably what you'll see. But I definitely recommend trying to work with some of these older lenses. My first camera was actually an old Sears 35mm SLR that I purchased from my brother that used the Pentax Canon. So I've got a number of lenses still that I can use with this setup. To me, the most appealing is the 50mm, and I also have a 135 that used to be my favorite portrait lens back in the day. But it's good. But let me know what you thought of this video. Give me a like, the thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, please. Help me grow my channel here. So get you out of the sun there. But yeah, thumbs up, subscribe if you would, I appreciate it. Share the video, and please let me know down in the comments what you thought of this. Have you used any vintage lenses on your newer cameras? What are your results? Do you have any recommendations on technique that I could go ahead and incorporate in my own photography? I think I'll be using this lens occasionally. It's not going to be my main lens by any means, but I'll definitely be doing that. But again, stay tuned here for the photos. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Bye.